Hi everybody, this is the Football Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hunter. Welcome back to the Football Hood. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So in this video, we're going to talk about the places that Tommy DeVito, the Giants quarterback, could get traded to because he's out of options. Giants have a whole bunch of other quarterbacks on this team. Jackson Dart, who's gotten everybody excited, James Winston, and of course Russell Wilson. Legendary Russell Wilson, and of course, they've all brought a lot to the table so far. And preseason, the Giants went 3-0. They were high energy guys. All three of them were high energy players. They bring something a little bit to the table, each one of them. But Tommy seems to be on the outs now because of this this logjam. But people love Tommy. I'll do this video on Tommy because and he's an interesting story. He's a local kid, It's Tommy Cutlets and all that stuff, and the Paisan and the crazy agent who looks like a hitman in the mob. But it's from SA.com. 5 potential trade partners for New York Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito. If quarterback Tommy DeVito isn't in the New York Giants plans, you try to get something for him. Here are some potential trade partners who just might be willing to play ball to acquire him. And he's not a bad backup, He might need more seasoning, but he could be a pretty good backup in a pinch. In all likelihood, New York Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito played his final snaps as a Giant on Thursday night. When he turned in a rather impressive showing in the team's preseason finale against the New England Patriots. But unfortunately for DeVito, as the current depth chart stands, he'd be the 4th quarterback behind starter Russell Wilson, backup Jameson Winston, and future starter Jackson Dart, thus making DeVito the clear odd man out, right? You would think so. Logic says yes, but if you're Giants general manager Joe Schoen, who believes, and he can't be the only NFL GM who believes this, that the quarterback position is the most important one on the team. You don't just let a quarterback who has shown that he can win games for you, who's coming off a rather impressive preseason showing in which, per data from Pro Football Focus, ranked 17th league among quarterbacks wide and accurate throws, 21.1%, hit the waiver wire and not get anything in return. If you're Shane, you probably look to keep DeVito at the final cut-down date, thereby crushing all the hopes of those teams who have quarterback issues of varying degrees, and you hold out for a trade partner willing to give you at least a high day 3 pick next year and a potential conditional pick the year after. Okay. Here we go. This is the first up. That said, here is a look at 5 teams that probably welcome DeVito on their squad as a QB2 if a mutually beneficial deal can be worked out. First up, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have Geno Smith locked in as a starter, but word just came out that their backup, Aiden O'Connell, fractures wrist in the team's preseason finale and will miss 6 to 8 weeks of the season. That leaves them with 2025 6th-round draft pick Cam Miller as the current understudy to Smith. While Smith might eventually develop into a solid signal caller, if I'm the Raiders, I'm on the phone. Don't you mean Miller? They screwed this up. Let me read this again with this properly. While Miller might eventually develop into a solid signal caller, if I'm the Raiders, I'm on the phone as soon as possible with the Giants about acquiring DeVito. Next up, the Saints, New Orleans Saints. Eventually, the Saints are looking to start quarterback Tyler Show as their franchise quarterback, but it looks as though they're going to roll with Spencer Rattler in the interim. The only other quarterback on their depth chart is Jake Hayner, who of the 3 Saints signal calls had the worst completion percentage and his limited snaps. Well, that's not good. Just the Giants sought to take a slow Jackson Dart's development. If the Saints were to acquire DeVito, he could serve in a similar role in which he'd give New Orleans a fallback plan should Rattler, who looks like he might be named a starter, struggle, and should Show not be ready for the bright lights. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts. Oh boy. A Danny Dimes, Tommy Cutlets reunion. Sure, why not? The Colts named former Giants starter Daniel Jones as the winner of their quarterback competition, pushing one-time first-round pick Anthony Richardson out of the picture and potentially off the team should the Colts be looking to move on from their Disappointing first round pick. I would mention about Daniel Jones. The Giants look like a very different team without him on the sideline. I mean, Daniel had absolutely no energy. Did he even care? Had no energy. DeVito's working with Jones could make for an interesting dynamic, more so than Jones and Richardson. And DeVito would be a far better option than Riley Leonard and Jason Bean, who round out Indianapolis's quarterback room. Next up, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans lost backup Will Levis for the season, leaving Brandon Allen and Trevor Siemian to back up projected starter Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. Not only would DeVito be an upgrade talent-wise, but again, there is the experience and mentoring factor that would undoubtedly be an attractive trait for a team that has a young quarterback at the helm. Next up, the Cleveland Browns. But wait a minute. Don't they have Shedeur Sanders there? Well, it's funny you should mention that. The Browns have already named 40-year-old quarterback Joe Flacco as their star. Still behind him, there's a drop-off, an experienced talent that's steeper than the depths of the Grand Canyon, starting with Kenny Pickett and rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Oh, boy. If the Browns want to ensure that they're going to remain competitive this season, having a quarterback like DeVito on the roster might not be such a bad idea if they're willing to try to slide one of Pickett, Gabriel, or Sanders to the practice squad. Oh, imagine Shedeur Sanders onto the practice squad. Oh, my God. That would be... ESPN would be grabbing their chests like Red Fox. The verdict: the Giants, as has been noted several times, are not getting any comp picks in next year's draft. They do have 7 picks thanks to picking up an extra 6-rounder and Darren Waller trade to Miami, but New York is a little light on day 2, holding just a 2nd-rounder after having sent Houston the 3rd-round pick in the Jackson Dart trade. No one is suggesting that DeVito could bring a 3rd-round pick, but stranger things have happened. But in short, it would be a total disappointment. The Giants, assuming they are moving on from DeVito, don't get something in return for him. They should be able to get something for him. Who knows? I would love if he went to Cleveland just to see the drama. See the drama of DeVito getting traded there and all the Sanders sycophants going crazy. ESPN going crazy, doing hours of Sanders content on their new NFL Disney Channel. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine? There would be total chaos at ESPN if that were to happen. Real complete total, be crazy. First Take would have, they'd be flipping out on First Take. That's for damn sure. Between Mad Dog and all the rest of them. Complaining about Sanders and DeVito taking his job. Oh, my God. I would think there'd be some kind of racial component to this, too, if that would happen. But hopefully for DeVito's sake, that won't happen, and he'll go somewhere else. One of these other teams that I mentioned in this video. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, imagine Stephen A. Smith having to talk about this. And say Tommy Cutlets and everything else, that he's taking the job of Shedeur Sanders, the future Tom Brady of the NFL. Oh, my goodness. It's bad enough Shedeur Sanders didn't get drafted until the 5th round, but then he gets drafted by one of the worst teams ever, in the Cleveland Browns. It's bad enough. It's bad enough he didn't get drafted until then, and then he gets drafted by the Browns. Insult and injury, I gotta say. I must say. Well, you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut, and I'll see you later.